It depends on when you get a hold to this podcast. We say good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Thurby Jones, your host of the In the Community Talk, which is much different from our night. So I don't want you to hit the 67 podcast and you see some Hennessy or something on the desk. It's not that one. It's the one that we try to get in the community and get our leaders to you to tell you about upcoming events, sometimes how the government works, other times just when, how, and why, And this helps your day because listening to us for a brief second can get you well informed of what's going on in Texarkana. Lately, we've been in Texarkana, Arkansas. Now we have reached over in Texas. And today we have our special guest, Antonio Williams, who is the CEO of the Village Community of Texarkana, Texas, which I'm very interested in because it's one of those unique things. So, Antonio, you tell us something about yourself.
Okay.
How did you get into the housing authority type work?
Okay, thank you, and great to be here. My hometown is Memphis, Tennessee. I've been there. And
Big Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee, Mempho. Went to college at UAPB.
Okay, that's HBCU.
HBCU, and started working with the federal government. I was in the Quad Cities, Rock Island, Illinois, Davenport, Iowa, so on and so forth. Left there.
You've been traveling.
Been traveling a little bit. That was a federal job, and we left there and went to work on the East Coast, New Jersey area, in the Fortune 500 company, and moved from there to Dallas, Texas, and from Dallas, Texas to Pascagoula, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, which is another Fortune Pascagoula shipbuilding company. It was called Ingalls Shipbuilding. Did a lot of work with the Navy with that, and then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
ATL.
ATL.
I was 15 years there.
That's right. That's about the same time, about 15, 16 years there in the ATL. And then I started my consulting company and traveled halfway around the world a little bit. Came off the road and decided to go to Mobile, Alabama for about 5 years, and then moved to Texarkana. This is where I am right now.
Well, it's twice as nice.
Absolutely. Twice as nice. Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Big Dallas down the road. I'm a big fan of Dallas. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Okay.
So, and speaking of that, they got rid of. I ain't gonna even say. They got rid of. You know who they got rid of. So anyway, gonna move on because I'm gonna make some people mad talking about Dallas. But the Village Community of Texarkana, Texas.
Yes.
It was once called the Housing Authority.
Correct. Yes, it was the Housing Authority of the City of Texarkana, Texas, since 1940. And of course, as you know, the Housing Authority provides affordable housing to people in need. I came on board 6 years ago, and my goal was to still bring the need, take care of the need, but also take an entrepreneurial approach to bringing the need. And that consists of bringing business processes to continuously improve how we serve our residents, finding ways of making money, reading and understanding the state statute that pretty much made the Housing Authority and realizing the power that it has to create some other businesses. And then also, after that, try to do some things statewide as well. So we're doing statewide deals too.
Now, is this a state agency?
Well, you would say that it's a quasi agency. Sometimes they would say state or government, but the Housing Authority was enacted by state law, state regulations that provided the cities the power to hire a board or to assign board members, and the board members hired the Housing Authority, and we would utilize federal funds to do the federal programs, and there may be state funds, we do state programs, and there may be our own things that we would do creatively. So we would call ourselves a quasi-entity. However, we just renamed ourselves, as you mentioned earlier, Village Communities of Texarkana, Texas.
Right. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know what that quasi is, if you're in a Atlanta, Georgia area, and if you're familiar with MARTA, I worked for them for a while. Mm-hmm. They are a quasi-entity. Well, they receive state funding, but they also getting private funding. Mm-hmm. Shareholders came in on the private side.
Correct.
Right. So there are people making money. So
that's right.
So it's one of those things. But the state do regulate it. So I'm assuming again, the state does regulate the village community.
Well, the way it goes, we're pretty much independent, but if we're utilizing state funds, then the state will regulate funds that they provide us. They usually call it a program situation, whereas if we get $10 million from the state, we have to show accountability of the $10 million. Did we use it what we use it for? Same thing with the federal government. The federal government through HUD gives us money. We have to make sure that we do what HUD's supposed to do in terms of the spirit of housing.
What's the budget look like over there?
Well, for the housing authorities slash village communities of Texarkana, Texas, we have about an $18 million budget, and we have about $130 million in assets. And we also have six affiliate businesses under us. So I kind of call that a conglomerate. And what I try to do in these days is try to get more into the mainstream business type communication of what we are. You know, we're big players in Texarkana, Texas.
I see. That's a good thing. Yeah. So just to give some clarification, it's like this village community, the village community is an entity that actually reaches out into the community to businesses to help with some of these projects or initiatives, which they create more jobs.
Well, what we try to do is we try to provide affordable housing, whether it's programmatic housing from the federal government or from the state or from the IRS, whatever the case may be. We do that first of all. Then we also provide services to people that need services. Like, for instance, if you're interested in increasing your net worth, we have family self-sufficiency programs that give you the tools to improve your day-to-day. And then we also we go out and we try to, I always say to my staff, we got to go out there and we got to kill what we eat. So and that means we go out there and we find opportunities that can use our services, and we find the business, and we implement our strategy, provide a finished product, get paid, put it in the bank, recycle it back in Texarkana, and then go to the next adventure.
Now, do y'all use contractors for like remodeling or home repairs? Do y'all get into that?
Yeah, absolutely. We use contractors to do unit turns, or we may use contractors to build houses for us, or we may use contractors for all types of things. We may use consultants to provide us technical assistance in some brain type things. So whatever the case may be, that gives us a leg up from a business standpoint. We get involved in like any other business.
You know, I asked that question because there's, you know, a lot of people in the community who have some skills.
Yes.
But they may not have the necessary ability to be noticed by an agency like you on a bid or anything like that. Yeah. If they need, how would they go about it?
Well, we have a website. It's www.vcoftt.org, and you go to that website, and then you go to the bids and opportunities, and you click that link, and you'll see all of the opportunities that's out there for contractors or consultants or whatever the case may be, whatever we may need is out there. You just click that link, and you can just govern yourself accordingly, and there we go.
Now, Texarkana, I just gave you a little gold nugget. I would advise you to go on their website and just kind of look around and see any opportunities for yourself. Because one thing about this area, there's a lot of skilled laborers. Mm-hmm. A lot of them don't know how to PR themselves, as I say.
Right.
You know, so one thing about this show, I'm going to help you get in the right direction. So go on the website, see if you are qualified, first of all, and eligible to go and bid for one of these contracts, because it can put some food on the table.
That's right.
Right. Now, as far as I have received an email from your office.
Yes.
And it was dealing with the Rose Hill Neighborhood Celebration. Mm-hmm. And that's on April 22nd between 11 and 2. So kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Right. Well, Rose Hill celebration has been going on since before I got here, and it's just a celebration of the Rose Hill community. They've been meeting several years over at the Graham Stadium in the parking lot area. A lot of vendors are over there, a lot of entertainers. This community comes together, have a good time. We provide food and radio stations out there, K-Toys out there providing us entertainment as well. I may get out there and say a few things, and then it's just a fantastic time. Over the last couple of years, we had COVID, so we have not been doing it over the last 2 or 3 years. But now that things have kind of lifted a little bit, we're going to kick it off again, as you said, on the 22nd of April.
Right, that sounds like a little festival, mini festival.
That's definitely a festival. You need to come on out to it.
Yeah. Hey, Texarkana, just remember, Rose Hill Neighborhood Celebration is April 22nd. It's between the hours of 11 and 2 p.m. Go out and support. If you are someone who has a product or anything, you want to become a vendor, I'm assuming going back to the website.
Yes, absolutely.
Say that one more time for us.
The website is www.vcoft.org.
Okay, just go there, and it's probably a contact number. If you're still confused about anything, just call Antonio Williams' office.
Yes.
And he has a wonderful staff. They've been in contact with me by emails. That's the only way you can really get in contact with me.
Right.
But they've been on cue, I'm telling you, and they will get all the information you need. So the next thing I want to talk about the initiatives.
Yes.
You know, I normally call them programs, but
Yeah.
but since you just quasi, because you know you're getting state funds, but y'all really operating like a private entity,
Right.
And that's what you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen. When they talk about quasi government or quasi organizations, the organization itself is getting government funds, but the state has legislated where they can move as a private entity.
Correct.
That's phenomenal.
It's great. It's great.
Cuts a lot of red tape.
Cuts a lot of red tape. You know, back in the day when housing authorities were first established, you know, when they would build cities, they'd have the big city planners and the architects and things. And some of the more progressive cities would hire housing authorities, have housing authorities involved in it because they have a lot of power. They can do eminent domain. They can create affiliates under them. They can do tax breaks, which helps. Like for instance, we're helping out on the Grimm Hotel. We are a limited partner, special limited partner with the Grimm Hotel, and we're providing tax breaks to make sure that particular project is more robust. So we've been doing that since 2019.
Now, when those changes come about, is it more of something you got to submit to the board, and they vote on it, or it's a unilateral thing with the agency?
Yeah, that Grimm Hotel project started off as a private initiative by developers. They wanted to get the Grimm Hotel and kind of rebuild it. They wanted to do condos at first, and then that didn't work out, and they tried other avenues, and they finally figured out that they want to start it off with some type of affordable housing. So with that said, in order to make a development deal go good, you try to get as much money as you can to throw in it. What we bring to the table as one of the housing authorities / VCTT's affiliates, we bring a tax incentive, which means that if we get involved in it, if it's a $27 million deal, then you save the taxes that's associated with $27 million.
That's in the millions.
Yes, it's in the millions. And you put that back into what you're dealing with, and then you can just really, really make it grow.
Before we move on, I got to say this. You know, I live in Texarkana, Arkansas area. And there's a noticeable difference when you come into Arkansas versus Texas.
Yes.
We can agree on that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Texarkana, Arkansas has this very coziness, and so does Texas. You know, there's definitely a difference.
It's a big difference. And what I'm saying is, so I'm going to start with this question.
Okay.
Anytime you don't feel comfortable, because y'all know you're on the Texas side, and I don't want nobody to think Texas is better, because it's great over here
Right.
on some things. But what entity in Texarkana, Arkansas is equivalent to Village Community?
Well, we have a housing authority on the Arkansas side, and they have several affordable units. They operate a little bit different than we do.
But they're not quasi.
They're quasi also.
Are they?
They're quasi. They can do everything that we can do, provided that they get the cooperation to do that. And I like to look at Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas as Texarkana, USA, because if someone comes to our town that doesn't really know about Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texas, they'll see a nice contiguous set of properties and side by side. They won't know where Texas starts or Arkansas begins, and then they'll just say Texarkana. Texarkana is great or Texarkana is not great. So if the Arkansas side is not doing what it's supposed to do and the Texas side is not doing what it's supposed to do, it makes the other one look
It does.
crazy. So my thing is to try to do as much as I can at home first in Texas, and then if Arkansas wants to team up to do some things on the Arkansas side, if they want to make it look like Texas, that's fine. But if we want to do things on the Arkansas side to look like Arkansas, we'll just collaborate in the spirit of collaboration and make things happen. It's just a step-by-step process.
So, based on your analysis of what you see in Arkansas, what can the village community bring to the table to improve Arkansas?
Well, I think that in the spirit of collaboration, we can sit down and then understand what the needs are. Because there may be some needs that I can see just walking down the street, but then there may be some needs that are not visible that, underlying things that I may need to know about to make things, if I know what it was, I can put strategies in place to improve that or maybe to augment it even further. So I think what it all starts off with is just both municipalities just sitting down and talking with each other. And I know that they started to do that a while back with the past city manager that's just left. They got together and kind of worked on some things together. But I think if you continue to move together on that spirit, and the Arkansas side can pretty much articulate, here's what we want to do. The Texas side is going to say, we're doing that. Can we help you do this?
Okay.
And then
So-
come together and do it that way.
Let's do a hypothetical.
Okay.
I'm speaking for Texarkana, Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
We have a big problem here with housing. We have a lot of empty lots,
Okay.
but no houses on them. And we have a rental problem that could be solved if we can put housing, affordable housing. We're not talking about mansions.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But the problem is we don't have funding.
Yeah.
How can you help us get the funding necessary to build houses and give low to moderate income citizens a chance to be homeowners?
I'm glad that you asked that question because the Texas side has the same problems. We have a lot of lots that are empty and it's just sitting there. And in summertime, the grass grows tall and you cut it. In the wintertime, it turns brown and everything else. What we did, we have an initiative on the Texas side, which is called Home Sweet Home Alabama. Not Alabama. I'm sorry. That's the song. The song is so catchy. I'm having a hard time.
I was getting ready to jump on that, right?
I know, man. But it's Home Sweet Home Texarkana.
Okay.
Kind of close to Alabama, but it's Texarkana.
Hey, that's a good recovery.
There we go. So it's Home Sweet Home Texarkana, and what we're doing is we're doing some infill and some rehab strategies. We're partnering with the city of Texarkana, Texas, and we're partnering with Bowie County Appraisal District to identify all of the empty lots that aren't doing anything but just, like I said, grass growing green in the summer and brown in the winter, and then trying to find ways of building houses on those properties and find low to moderate income people to get them into houses, to get the tax rolls started back. The city is happy when the tax rolls start back. The community is happy because we have houses side by side. If you're a local business that want to get together and take advantage of providing services to that community, you can build a coffee shop or a little food store with fresh fruits and vegetables. We've also partnered with some banks. We have Cadence Bank in town. We're working on some stuff with regions as well. We have regions that we're dealing with. We have a couple other banks that we're talking with right now. TDHCA, which is in Austin, Texas, and T-Shack. They have loan programs. We're just bringing all of these things together. And all we need to do is have someone that's interested in becoming a homeowner.
Okay, now, if someone, hypothetically again, if I was there and Mr. Williams, I would like to be a homeowner, you know, what would your response be? How would, is there an initiative to get into, to go ahead and take some steps towards being a homeowner?
Yeah, absolutely. The first step is what you just said. Mr. Williams, I want to be a homeowner. That's the first step. And here's what it is. If you're in my office or if you make a phone call, you see me out playing basketball or at the Dapper, having a drink or whatever the case may be, you can stop me and say, I'd like to be a homeowner, and I would give you an email address. The email address that I would give you is called home@vcoftt.org. You pop that into your email, press the send button, automatically you'll receive a package back that has everything about the program. You know, what's it involved? It gives you the players that's involved in it, the banks, the construction companies that's involved in it, all of the different percentages that you can get on housing, what you got to use to qualify. I'm putting you in contact with all of the resources to become a homeowner. All you got to do is put your sweat equity in and reach out to them.
Right.
And then if they say, well, your credit is just a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to ask
too low.
about that.
Yeah, if your credit's a little bit too low, they'll tell you where you are. Okay, here's what you got to do. We have a program that can help you.
That's the thing.
Exactly. So each individual entity, each bank, even TDHCA and those other guys, they will tell you, here's where you are. Here's what you got to do to get to where you got to go.
Right.
Don't get another car. Don't co-sign for nobody. Just chill out for a couple of years. The credit gets to a certain line. We give you 100% loan. We give you some grants so that you can have a down payment, 0 down payment. You have your own house, brand new house, and all of these are based on lots that are in our partnership. We have some lots. City of Texas County, Texas has lots. Bowie County Appraisal District has lots. Those lots are the ones that are available. And so all you have to do is reach forward, and that will work out. Now, once we get traction on the Texas side, if Arkansas wants to do that same thing, we can spread it to Arkansas and have that happen in Arkansas as well. Take care of all of those.
Really?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Did y'all hear that? I'm just want to make sure, if you didn't, rewind it about 10 seconds.
Absolutely.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this. Rent is higher than mortgage. This I do know. Take the time out, go to the website. It's going to be posted. And look at this information. These initiatives are out here for a reason. You say people don't care about you, the government don't care about you. They have established a quasi entity where all you have to do is reach out. They move like private. They move like the private sector, which is great because there's no red tape. So if there's any issues, it's a phone call. It's not going to the board and asking for a vote.
or an email.
Right, email. Just and that email, it's just rewind it. It is there. So what I'm saying is, rent is higher than mortgage. You owe it to yourself right now to look into this information, and maybe it might take 8 months or 12 months because of a credit issue, but it is well worth the wait.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely we're playing the long game here. It took a lot of years for those properties to become vacant and for it to get to where it's going to get to. So we're not in a hurry to throw anything down. We want to put quality down there. We want to make sure that you guys qualify. We want you to go into your own house and on your day off, sit on your porch or in your backyard, drink your coffee or whatever you drink.
Cold beer.
Yeah, cold beer or whatever the case may be, and then just enjoy yourself and just you have your home. So there's nothing like the American dream.
Well, the one thing I want to add is this. I was in Washington, D.C., and they had a low to moderate income program for its citizens. We was putting together co-ops. Co-ops was basically looking at apartment buildings, and there have been people that were living in the same apartment 15, 16, almost 20 years. So we went in to give them an opportunity to be they didn't own the apartment.
Okay.
What happened is that they bought like shares.
Yeah.
And it became a cooperative. Right. And they elected it on board.
Yeah.
And they paid some association fees, whatever. But the bottom line is the federal government, HUD, stepped in and said, okay, we're going to provide so many funds. Then they had some banks who provided some low to moderate, low interest rate loans for those tenants,
Right.
who eventually became shareholders in a whole building. And of course, they stayed in their apartments, but if they were to leave,
Yeah.
the rent is actually coming to them.
Right.
Which was very smart. It gave people to be vested in the community.
Right.
Do HUD have any programs now, currently, that will offer, even with a home, some funds or grants?
Well, HUD has their programs, and I usually don't get into HUD's their programs. And the co-op situation, that's beautiful. That's something that's been going on for a while. We tried what we're doing now. We're starting off into the actual home ownership opportunity, and then also the real estate investment opportunity. If you're a real estate investor, And if you like to invest in real estate, especially helping out low to moderate income people, you can invest in these properties, build you some townhouses or whatever the case may be, and then you can rent those out to low wealth individuals.
Now, just have an estimate number. One of those lots, how much they going for?
Well, the beautiful part about this is that those lots right now, they have a value on those. And what we do is we would include that value in the sale of the house. So right now, the real estate value is kind of up because of COVID and the supply chain. So the housing that we plan to build is very competitive to what they're building right now, but a little bit lower. And the reason why I say a little bit lower, like for instance, we built 20 houses a few years ago under our old homeownership program, and those houses cost, brand new houses, cost about two-car garage, cost about, no, maybe one-car garage. It cost about $120,000. And then
How many bedrooms? Two, at least?
three to four bedroom. It depends on the house. And now that same, if I were to build that same house into certain neighborhoods, but the old house was $99 a square foot. Now, based on the cost of the house now to build, is about $200 and some odd dollars a square foot.
Same house.
Same house. But we're dealing with architects that are sharpening their pencils and making sure that they can provide you the best cut rate on the different types of things that's going into your house.
Now, how many square feet we talking about?
I want to say 1,100 to 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms.
Right.
Yeah, we have them all over Rose Hill.
Again, we're coming to the end of our segment. Is there anything else you would like to tell the public?
Just want to remind everybody, this Home Sweet Home Texarkana deal is something that you really want to consider. I think everybody needs a home. If you feel that you don't, here's one thing I want to do. I'm going to stop myself right there because I've been thinking about this. Special shout out to the brothers out there, to the men. I mean, we want. I know a lot of times when we look at affordable housing and even houses, it's pretty much dominated by women. We love our women.
Right.
But I want the men to get involved in this and get their own man cave.
Right.
You never know how close you are to home ownership unless you ask the question. So this is a special shout out to all of the men out there. All of the men, 18 and over. If you have a job and you're interested in a house, you just never know. I mean, it's just nothing like walking into your own place and having your own domain and doing what you want to do and how you want to do it. Start your family, build your castle, get your man cave together.
Right.
But not only the men, I want to make sure that all the women take advantage of this.
But they've been doing it.
They've been doing it.
Y'all women be on point.
But don't you be on point.
They be on point.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Right. We just encouraging men.
We're encouraging men as well.
Right. Just come on out and just make the phone call or go to the website and reach out, ask questions. When I was in school, there's no dumb questions.
No dumb questions.
No, just ask, and you will get an answer. And I'm pretty sure if they don't have an answer, they will take your name and number and get back to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is not a hidden agenda. The only agenda is to making sure that you become a property owner. Back in the day, you couldn't even vote without owning property.
Yeah, that's right.
We have evolved.
That's right.
So now the fear of some people, my credit score is only 500, And yes, it might be 530 or 560, but there's a reason why. And if you get to some people who can consult you on how to move your credit score up, they're there.
Yes, absolutely.
They will, it might take 8, 12, or 18 months. But a person who's consistent and committed to excellent success will stay in the chair until it's done.
There you go.
And that's it. We're at the end of our segment. And as I always end up saying some final thoughts, I pretty much just said it, is that success is predicated on you. How bad do you want it? You can have a nice job, great car, but if you're not sitting in a home and paying a mortgage, how successful are you? Think about it.
Right.
This is an opportunity to get the whole package: the house, the car, and the job, all in one package together. And that's where we want to be at, ladies and gentlemen, a homeowner. I'm your host, Therapy Jones. Thank you for your attention and your time.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.